Hello and a warm welcome to the Celtic Forever podcast, where on today's show we're going to discuss the preview of the St Mirren game on Sunday, Celtic versus St Mirren at Paradise, 3 o'clock on Sunday. We're also going to have a wee look back on the game on Thursday night against Rangers at IBROX, where we're not going to talk about the football, we're going to talk about the aftermath, the disgusting scenes at IBROX as well, and lots more, folks. Enter the competition as well, free prize competition. Okay folks, let's get into this, let's do this. Alright, John, so where do we start with this? You know, we don't want to go into every single bit of the game. We're not even going to go into the game because everything that happened afterwards is more important to me. We were beat, John, on the day. We were well beaten on the day. No problem with that whatsoever. Well, I've got a problem with it, but there's no issue there. You know, the best team won at the end of the day, John. 3-0 to Rangers. We just got to take that and accept it.
Well, this is it, aye. The better team that played on the day won. Celtic's a far better team than them, but the team that showed up on the day won the game, and they won it fair and square, so there's nothing we can do about that, but very poor. Very, very poor from Celtic, very poor.
Yeah, absolutely dreadful, wasn't it? So, as you say, John, it is only one game, and we move on to St Mirren. That's what we're here for, to do the St Mirren preview, folks. And just before we get into everything else, we've got a lot to get through, folks. Be quick word on the competition. Correct score competition for the St Mirren game. What will the correct score be? Celtic versus St Mirren on Sunday. Looking for the correct score and any goal scorer in the game. One guess each into the comments to win the Legends Metal Wall Plaque, folks. Mainland UK only for this one. All right, John, we'll leave that there. That's the competition, because we've got a lot of more important things to get through. John, but what I did notice was a Sun headline online, if you know what I mean. A Sun headline online was Rangers end Celtic's dominance. You know, absolutely. This is why Celtic supporters don't buy the record in the Sun, John. You know, that according to the Sun, that's the dominance ended. It's a one-off dead rubber game, John, where we didn't turn up. And fair play to Rangers that they played well and they got the win, so fair play to them. But John, to come out with headlines like to end Celtic's dominance is just an absolute laugh, isn't it?
Well, they ended the dominance of this season, and Celtic were dominant the whole season. So what basically happened, like you says, they ended a run of games that Celtic were, let's be honest, they were hot and cold.
Yeah.
Celtic, but they still managed to struggle over the line. But they ended that run of wins, or undefeated run, if you like, and that's basically what it comes down to. But to end Celtic's dominance in Scotland, if that's what they meant by that, then it's obviously some kind of joke headline, because Celtic's already got the cup in the bag, the League Cup. They're sitting 11 points clear at the top of the league, and Rangers won a dead rubber game, if you want to call it a dead rubber. I didn't say it was a dead rubber in the last podcast. I don't think it was. I think it would have been a dead rubber if Celtic had been 17 points ahead, but no, I don't see any of the games as dead rubbers until the league's wins under.
Yeah, that's it. You did say that on the preview, John. Fair play to you. But a lot of people did think the league was over. I still personally think it's over. You know, Celtic are not going to throw away an 11-point lead at this stage in the season. We're now in the second half of the season, John, aren't we? So, but John, that's what happens when you don't turn up at IBROX. You give these newspapers headlines. You know, you give them the chance to write these headlines if you don't turn up. And that's why we've got to take every single game, especially against them, you know, seriously, John. We can't just go there and expect to win, John. We've got to turn up and put in a battling performance like we always do against them.
Aye, there was no performance whatsoever. Not one Celtic player get pass marks. And to win derby games, especially at Ibrox, when you have no fans there, you've got to be given 110%, every single player. And by what I've seen, Celtic players looked like they were just off the back of a stag night or something like that, apart from Carter Vickers.
Yeah, it wasn't great, was it? You know, for the whole team not to turn up, including the substitutes, John, including the subs. For all the boys not to turn up. I don't know what happened, to be honest with you. I haven't got a clue. I don't even think Brendan knows what happened. The players probably don't know. But given the excuse me, giving the ball away needlessly, John, constantly in this game, from a Celtic player direct to Rangers players, and knocking the ball out the park constantly, John, that certainly didn't help matters, did it?
No, no, that never helps when you're constantly kicking it out the park. And Liam Scales started the rot, I think, by passing it straight to a Rangers player and they score a goal from it. Not going to blame Liam Scales solely for that, but he started the rot. And once that goal was scored, that was it. Every Celtic player on the park just passed it straight to Rangers players. And they looked like the heads went down really, really early in this game after that. And it was just a catastrophe, to be honest with you. Every single player. I can pinpoint players that I think contributed more to that defeat than any other players, but I don't want to single out players. Only says Liam Scales, Sander, because he basically started the rot.
Yeah, one of the big Scales' worst games since coming to Celtic, to be honest with you. And we can go through every player, John. But there's no point, John. It's gone. The game's gone. We move on to St Mirren, didn't we? But I'll tell you something, the new flying elbows and diving cheats, John, and smashed noses, bloody noses, broken noses, whatever you want to call it. You know, that doesn't help matters either, John. We're looking for a wee bit of protection. And for this guy, Hadji, to dive 6 times in this game, John, 6 times in this game, and not even get a booking for one of them, John, was unbelievable. So, you know, these wee small details, they don't help matters either, do they? So, but John, it's no excuse, but we're beaten by the best team in the day. And that's all it was, John, the best team on the day, nothing more.
Exactly, aye. I'm never going to say Rangers are a better team than Celtic. Look at the trophy cabinets. That tells you who's the best team. You know what I mean? We've already got that League Cup in the bag by beating them. We're 11 points clear in the lead. We were 14 ahead in the league before getting beat by them. St Mirren beat them. Motherwell should have hammered them. But it comes to Celtic and they look like they've all been on the bottle in the dressing room. That's what it looked like to me. They just looked... I've never seen a Celtic team as bad as that. And I heard that guy on Radio Clyde saying, don't tell me that Celtic were bad. Rangers were just so much better. They're just such a better team. That was Celtic at their best. All that. Who is that guy trying to kid?
Yeah, John, this is a Rangers team that could have beat Motherwell, got beat with St Mirren, pulling through 1-0 wins at IBROX, etc. John, this is the exact same team with some of their main players missing. I might add, it's purely down to Celtic no turning up. That's what that result was all about. You know, they've got the 3 points. Fair play to them. They've got the 3 points, but you'll see a different Celtic against Rangers at Paradise, John. But John, let's park the game there. That's it. But we'll say their piece. We lose the game. 3 points, still 11 points clear.
Well, there's a lot because we can talk about the flying elbows and all that, how bad the referee was, because there is a lot to talk about in that game. I'm like you. I don't really want to talk about it. The game's over. You can go on about the referee's poor performance. You can go on about the coin throwing incident, which shows you why that I've always says I do not want them back in Celtic Park. I do not want their fans anywhere near Celtic Park for that exact reason. Brendan Rodgers getting hit with stuff as well. Last season we had members of the Celtic coaching staff hit with coins, their heads split open and all that. And it's been broken bottles and all that. We can go on and on and on and on about that. But I think the call should be, you keep your fans at your stadium and we'll keep your fans at your stadium. It's simple as that. I don't want them back, Sander. That coin thrown incident, when they're up, I don't know, what was the score when that coin was thrown?
Yeah, that was the end of the game, John. 3-0. But John, let's sorry, John, because I want to go into that actually. I do want to spend a bit of time on that. And by the way, you're saying, you know, no fans at IBROX, no Celtic fans at IBROX, and no Rangers fans at Celtic Park, right, John? That's fair enough. But there's no fans at IBROX the other day, and we still got players attacked. You know, so what we need is fencing or netting or something around that stadium or something, right? But John, that's not what I'm going to go into, right? Because what I'm going to go into is the coin thrown at Brendan and the players in the corner when they were taking the corner. I think there was a few coins thrown. I think Luke McCowan got hit in the leg with a coin, and Arnie Engels obviously got hit in the head with a coin and collapsed to the floor, right, John? So this hate culture in Scotland has been totally and utterly ignored by the Scottish press. It's totally been ignored by the SFA, John. The only person or people, sorry, John, that's getting hurt by this is Celtic. You know, it's our players that are getting hurt. It's our staff that's getting, you know, busted heads open last season, as you say, John, and Brendan on Thursday. Then we've got all the other stuff, the glass on the pitch, everything else, John. The hate culture has been totally and utterly ignored. And I'll tell you something, right? I'll tell you something right now. I'm going to put a poll on Facebook, right? Because the video I put on Thursday night regarding the coin incident and our players getting struck is sitting at 280,000 views, John, and a lot of angry Celtic supporters out there. You know, giving Rangers a game, same we weren't at our best, etc., but raging with what happened in the final minute of this one, John, the coins and Engels being struck to the floor, John. They're not happy. The fans are not happy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a poll on Facebook later on today. I'll add the link into the description, folks. Should we let the Rangers fans, back into Celtic Park? Yes or no? And if I get the same, reaction, John, as what I did to the video, I'm going to send it to the press and I'm going to send it to Celtic Football Club.
Aye, definitely, aye. And every Celtic podcast should be doing the same. Do we want them back in Celtic Park? We've got to get together as the Celtic family here, and we've got to get them banned for Celtic Park, and we've got to get something done about their stadium when Celtic play there. I was reading one of the comments on your Facebook post, the wee video with the coin incident, and one guy was going on about Hugh Dallas, and one guy was going on about the usual stuff they go on about the word that starts with P that we don't want to mention. But what's that got to do with that game? When did Hugh Dallas play for Rangers in an incident that happened 30 years ago? I mean, why are they digging up dirt trying to trash Celtic by bringing that stuff up that's got nothing to do with recent events? What happened at IBROX has been going on for years and years, every single time Celtic play there, and nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, gets said about it in the press. I know the SFA have come out and made a statement about it, but what are they going to do about it? It's all right saying, oh, that's terrible, we don't want to see that in the game. What are they going to do about it? Are they going to put fences around that stadium for when Celtic play, big nets? Something's going to be done. We don't want their fans back in the stadium. That's simple. We don't want that. But like he says, we've got to keep the Celtic players safe. They're up 3-0 at that time, Rangers, and they're still acting like absolute animals, chucking missiles at Celtic players. Is it not supposed to be a time when you're happy? Celebrate with your fans and all that. Why are they doing that?
Yeah, and what I will also add, John, right, it isn't every Rangers supporter, right? It isn't, right? But it was every Rangers supporter that was singing the vile sectarian abuse as well for 90 minutes during that game. You know, that was every supporter singing these songs. So, yeah, it wasn't every supporter throwing coins. Obviously, it was just a handful of Rangers supporters, but it's been happening for years, as you say as well, John. And with regards to the coin throwing incident with Hugh Dallas 30 odd years ago, John, we're still getting kicked in the face with that one. That still gets brought up every time there's an incident, by the press. It's in the newspapers, Hugh Dallas. I mean, it's there constantly. So that gets used to beat Celtic with every single time there's an incident, John. So there you've got that Celtic player hit with a coin now, John. So something's got to be done about it. And what I would suggest is play the Rangers games at IBROX behind closed doors until they've got nets all the way around that stadium. John, what do you think?
I've said it for years. The fans can't behave themselves. As simple as that. I mean, there is fans out there that can behave themselves, but I agree. I think the SFA's got to act right now. And when did Hugh Dallas play for Rangers, by the way? What's he got to do about it?
Yeah, that's it.
When the Celtic players chuck weapons at Rangers players, Celtic fans, sorry, when the Celtic fans chuck weapons at Rangers players when they're taking corners and all that, it never happens. You never see it. So, when's SFA going to step in and actually do something about that? Like you says, either play the games behind closed doors or put a big fence right around their stadium, because they can't behave themselves. As simple as that. And that's not just because we get beat by them. I'd be saying that if we actually won the game as well.
Yeah, we did say it when we won the game, John. We did say it when we won the last time at IBROX, and the same thing happened, So we have said it when we've won as well. It's not a case of because we got beat. And what I will say about the Scottish press and the media in Scotland, John, Sky Sports, STV, they Premier Sports as well, John, and all the usual ones, they're actually encouraging the hatred, by hitting it with statements like, what an atmosphere at IBROX when they're singing nothing but sectarian songs, John, anti-Catholic, sectarian, vile. And the commentators are hitting out with a fantastic atmosphere, John. So they're actually encouraging it.
That's
Anyway,
a joke, isn't it? Aye. Everybody
yeah,
says that about Hampden as well. They're all singing that and looking on about the great atmosphere from Rangers fans, but no mention of what they're actually singing. It's like we've said it before. It's accepted that kind of singing towards the Celtic fans. It's acceptable. But if you sing that to anybody else, Italian fans, Indian fans, or whatever, Chinese fans, you'd be thrown in the jail. But it's all right to sing it to Celtic fans.
Yeah, that's it. And by the way, no apology from David Crocker again, even though there was 40-odd thousand Rangers fans singing that stuff. So Crocker only leaves his apologies to whenever Celtic do something wrong. Okay, John. I don't know if you know about this one as well. A couple of fans attacking the Celtic staff coming out, boarding the bus outside Ibrox as well. There was a couple of supporters, trying to attack a couple of the members of staff at Celtic as they were going on the bus as well. So they're not safe leaving the stadium either, John. So it's an absolute, disgrace what's happening over at Ibrox.
Aye. Sorry, Xander, my phone was gone there. It's linked to my computer, and I was trying to switch it off there. Aye, it's despicable what's happening over there. I never knew about that incident, by the way, but look, all we can take from that is that all these incidents will have really, really angered Celtic, the players, the fans, all the staff. I think you're going to start seeing a very hungry Celtic, and when they come to Celtic Park, I think you're going to be looking at a very, very high defeat for Rangers at that one. I think that's really angered Celtic. If it's angered the players and the staff as much as it's angered the fans, know the fact that we get beat. Rangers won fair and square on the day, apart from breaking Kuhn's nose. But aye, if it's angered Celtic Football Club as much as it's angered the fans, then you're going to see a very different scoreline when they come to Celtic Park.
Yeah, John. There's tens of thousands of very angry Celtic supporters. No caring about the game, John. They're not caring about the actual game itself. It's what happened afterwards that's the problem here. 280,000 people viewed that video of the coin incident, John, and there's a lot of angry Celtic supporters, believe you me. So click on the link below, folks, for the poll. It takes you over to Facebook if you've got a Facebook account, and enter your yes or no on the poll. Should Rangers fans be allowed back into Celtic Park? Yes or no, just click whatever you think, and we'll get the results for that after a week, and we'll send them off to the Scottish Press and Celtic Football Club. Hopefully I'll get a reply this time, John. Remember the channel had a couple of strikes and Celtic wouldn't reply, so hopefully if we get maybe 20, 30, 40,000 Celtic fans on that poll, they'll maybe reply to that, John. What do you think?
I would doubt that very much, but I think if you do it yourself, look, if it's a big enough poll, aye, they've got to look at it and say this is what the fans actually think. Aye, there is every chance probably you might get some kind of response from Celtic. The fans don't want them back, and I think every podcast should be doing the same and forward the results. But aye, look, it's not just a case we don't want them back at Celtic Park. That's an easy decision to make for Celtic. Look, we don't want your fans there. They can't behave themselves. We'll just keep it. No fans at your stadium. No fans at our stadium. That's the easy part. They can do that if they want. The hard part is protecting the Celtic players and staff at IBROX when they do go there. So the only option is, like you says, to play the game behind closed doors or put nets around their stadium.
Yeah, Bang on. Yep, bang on. Because we can't afford to be sending players, to IBROX anymore and getting, okay, you could have lost an eye, yeah, but it could be worse, John. You've got the glass thrown at Joe Hart. You've got all sorts of things. And by the way, what I do need off you folks, if you don't mind, is incidents from the past that's happened at IBROX. Get them into the comments because I'm going to make a video of them all and add that to the poll. So get your incidents that's happened to Celtic staff and players in the past. As far back as I can remember, John Petrov being smacked with a cup from the crowd as well when he scored a goal at Ibrox, getting smacked in the face with a cup. So there's plenty. I just can't remember them all. Right, John, what we're going to do, we're going to leave that there, right? Because, we've said our piece on it. Fair enough, we've said our piece. And I might add, John, it's not all Rangers supporters. It isn't all Rangers supporters. But, a handful is enough to cause harm to Celtic staff and players, John. That's the way I look at it.
Well, the other way you can look at it is if it's no all Rangers fans, why is there incidents in every single game? Is it the same people that's doing it every single game? I highly doubt that, Xander. I know there is decent Rangers fans, of course there is. But this is different people, incident after incident, and every single time we play them. So there's a whole lot of them, Xander, that's prepared to, treat the Celtic players like that.
Yeah. It's just mind-boggling, John, isn't it? When you're 3-0 up to do that. It really is. But anyway, we'll leave it there, John. Let's leave it there. We've said our wee piece. So get into the comments, folks, and the description as well. Get into the description and you'll see the link for the poll. And even if you want the Rangers fans back, click yes, you want them to stay. So just enter the poll either way, folks. All right, John, wee bits of snippets of news. Not much happening just now since the Glasgow derby, but Big Charlie Mulgrew, he's going to be announced on Monday as the new Celtic Hearts manager, John. Big Charlie. So good luck to the big man at Celtic Hearts if he does indeed become their new manager.
Aye, I've seen that. Don't really care what happens with Celtic Hearts right enough, but I like Big Charlie Mulgrew. He's one of the Celtic fans' favourite. He's one of our own, as the Celtic fans used to say to him. Good luck to Big Charlie, whatever he does. I love Big Charlie Mulgrew.
Yeah, he's a brilliant guy, isn't he? Good Celtic man. So good luck to Big Charlie if he does indeed take that job on Monday. Other wee bit, you were asking about the Dane Murray, loan ending and back to Celtic. Celtic actually called him back, John. So I think Welsh, he's off skate, isn't he? And Big Dane Murray will be his replacement, John. He's been playing a blinder for Queen's Park. So Brendan's called him back, John. I think you were asking, was he called back or was it just the end of his loan? But it looks as though Brendan's called him back.
Aye, I seen that. I don't know if Brendan's had a look at the defence on the 2nd of January and says, we need another couple of defenders in. Liam Scales had a shocker, didn't he? But aye, Cameron Carter-Vickers obviously linked to moves away for Celtic as well.
Yeah, I heard that a few days ago, John, but yeah, you're going to get that in January, at the start of January's transfer window, and that's, Kuhn as well. He's another one, and he's been linked away, and a few others as well, John. Rio Hatate, John. I mean, we don't want to go through individual players, John, but Rio himself, he's actually not kicked a ball in about 4 weeks, has he?
Aye, and the rest. He's not kicked a ball all season, Xander. He said a couple of moments of brilliance. I've said this before, by the way. He said a couple of moments of brilliance and it keeps passing the ball to other players. I mean, for a guy of his ability to be playing like that, I don't know what's wrong there, Xander. That's poor from Hatate. What I seen with him against Rangers was he should have been took off after 20 minutes.
Yeah, we'll get into the preview right now, actually, John, but we'll touch on the players because that'll give us a good wee chance to talk about the players and the performance going into the preview of St Mirren. But yeah, the players never turned up, but there is a few in the squad, John, that have not done it for a few weeks now. So yeah, we are going to touch on that, and let's get into it then, John. St Mirren, Celtic Park. 1-11 Celtic win, 8-11 the draw, 20-1 St Mirren win. players to look out for St Mirren. They do have a few decent players. St Mirren, they're no long off the back of beating Rangers. Declan John, the wee left back, John, or right back, can't remember. But he's a decent wee wing back, Declan John. He used to beat Rangers, didn't he? He's decent. Greg Kelty, decent player. Marcus Fraser, decent. Mandron, decent. Scott Fraser, decent. O'Hara, decent. And I've also just signed Jack Hemmings back as well, the goalkeeper, John, from Middlesbrough. So he's on loan, decent goalkeeper, Hemmings. And they've also signed Owen Oseni, this big striker, from Scott Brown's old team. Who was that again? Who was it? Scott Brown managed again? Can't remember. Anyway, they've signed big Owen Oseni anyway, John, another striker. So they've signed a couple, and they've already got a lot of decent players there, John.
Big Gogic as well.
Yeah, big Gogic as well, yeah, right enough. Yeah, they're a good solid team, St Mirren. It's hard to break them down, so we're going to find it tough, at Celtic Park on Sunday. As I say, just off the back of beating Rangers as well, so that's the players to watch anyway, John. But let's get into the Celtic side of things. Right, the fans will be looking for changes here, John, I would imagine. Looking for changes after the performance at IBROX, so they'll be wanting some players in, some players out. We'll just go directly into the predicted lineup then, John. What are you thinking? What's your changes, and what do you think Brendan's thinking?
I'm thinking Brendan's telling them this league is far from over. Get out there and get the job done until it is over. I want 110% of every single player in every game. Fight like your life depends on it every single game until that league is mathematically impossible for anybody else to win it. That's what I think Brendan will be thinking, and he'll drill that into his players. Starting lineup: Kasper Schmeichel, Carter Vickers, Trusty. He's got to start this one, Trusty. After Scales' performance. So Carter Vickers, Trusty, Alistair Johnson. Greg Taylor was pathetic against Rangers as well, by the way. But I think he'll start. I think it's going to be him at the left back. So it's going to be the usual centre, the usual defence, basically. Apart from Scales, will be replaced by Trusty. Centre of the park, McGregor's going to start. Another player that never performed. What was the book for, by the way, Carl McGregor? There wasn't a yellow card in that.
No, I wanted to touch on that, John. Actually, McGregor was yellow carded for absolutely nothing. And within 2 minutes, John, this Diamond hacked McGregor from the back. I don't know if you remember that. He actually hacked him from the back, sent McGregor flying, didn't get the ball, and it wasn't even spoken to. The referee had an absolute shocker at IBROX on Thursday, John. An absolute shocker. And that also didn't help matters. Sorry, John, back on with your predicted lineup. Sorry, buddy.
No, you're right to bring it up. I wanted to bring it up as well. I just don't know why McGregor was booked. And it put him right out of that game.
Of course it did, John. He couldn't make another tackle.
And that wee animal, Raskin, running about kicking everything in green and white and getting away with it as well, by the way. And it was also over at, what's his name? Engels, when he was hit with the coin. The Rangers players are trying to pull him back to his feet and all that. What's that all about?
I know. Yeah, and then they realised that the severity of the incident and tried to make it out as if they were concerned about him, John. I saw that as well. There was one or two that was concerned about him. I've got to be honest. There was one or two Rangers players over there concerned, but there was a couple, trying to get him to his feet, etc., John, as you say. But anyway, we went through it, John. We went through it. If only Tavernier was playing, Johnny.
Aye, Maeda was posted missing. I think Maeda had the wide eyes this time.
Aye, I was posted missing. The Japanese superstar, John, was posted missing, as was 80% of the team, John. So, where did we get to? McGregor, John? You got to McGregor. He'll play it.
Never mind. I'll start again. Schmeichel, Trusty, Vickers, Johnson, Taylor, McGregor. I think I'm going to go for a Luke McCowan start this time instead of Hitati.
Right.
And Paulo Bernardo, who was also posted missing. Up front, Maeda, who was also posted missing.
Yeah.
Kyogo, what a finish that was, just marginally offside there.
Yeah, beautiful goal, wasn't it? I thought that was it. I thought it was us back in it. What lovely finish, by the way. Beautiful. If it wasn't for just 6 inches off, was it, John? If even that. Anyway.
Aye. Anyway, Maeda, Kyogo, and Nicholas Kuhn, who was also miles off it.
He was a miles off it, wasn't he, John? Which was strange. I mean, I personally think we took it for granted that we were going to turn up there and win the game, John. I could be talking absolute nonsense, but there was something wrong with the lads there on Thursday night. I just think we took it for granted. We've got the beating of them. They were missing most of their defenders as well, John, and I think we just took it for granted, took the foot off the gas, and basically we were played off the park. You've got to be honest, we were played off the park for the whole of that game, John. So although the stats does say that we had more possession and stuff like that, but that goes for absolutely nothing, John, to be honest with you.
Well, I think the possession was mostly Carter Vickers walking about with the ball, walking around Rangers players and all that. How good was Carter Vickers? He's the only guy that showed up. He had the ball at his feet, and there's 5 Rangers players, and he's just walking about, taking it round them. And there was nobody to pass it to.
Yeah, nobody was making any moves. I noticed that. There was no movement at all throughout that game. So we got what we deserved in the end, John, to be honest with you. But it was other stuff that happened that was frustrating. It really was.
I absolutely. I have no problem with the result whatsoever. Well, I have got a problem with it, obviously. I don't like getting beat by them anytime. But the team that played the better football on the day was Rangers, and they deserved their win. That's not the problem we've got. We've already spoke about what the problem is.
Yeah. Okay, John, I'll quickly run through mine. Casper in goals. He had to pull off a few saves against Rangers, didn't he? I'm going to go with the usual back 4 with Trusty, Carter Vickers. I'll go with Alex Valley, possibly. I'll stick with Taylor, like you, John, and Johnston, with Callum McGregor in midfield. I think he's going to stick with Rio. I think he'll be playing. Then you've got Arnie Engels. I think he'll start. Then you've got Dyson. We'll go with VK. Will go to start as well, and Kuhn on the right. So it's the exact same, John. Exact same.
Well, you've made a few different changes. The centre of the park, I wouldn't have Hatate anywhere near it. He's been miles off it since he came back from his injury.
He's been quite poor actually, Hatate. But it's with the exception of 1 or 2, John, it's the same team. But he might not start with Hatate. He might go with what you said, John. We're just assuming here, aren't we? So we'll wait to see what happens on Sunday. All right, John, a predicted score off you then. What you thinking the score's going to be? Bearing in mind, the players will be angry, upset. They want to mend the wrongs, if you like, and we're at home. I can't say anything other than a Celtic win, John, but it sometimes doesn't work out like that, especially after you've just lost to your rivals, John. But what are you thinking? What's your predicted scoreline?
Oh, it's a tough one, isn't it? You're just thinking, are they going to show up and play like that again? Is there something wrong in the club? I don't think there is something wrong, to be honest with you. Just think Celtic players, like you says earlier, I think they took it for granted. We don't know. It's a hard one to predict. St Mirren on the back of beating Rangers, and then they lost their next game. I think you're going to see at least a hungrier Celtic than what you've seen at IBROX. I think Brendan will have drilled that into them, that you fight till the end. And I think you're going to see a hungrier Celtic. I'm going to go for 3-0 Celtic.
Right, okay. Yeah, St Mirren off the back of a defeat to Kilmarnock, wasn't it? So I think it was a 2-0 defeat, was it? So both teams off the back of defeats, John. I'll say 3-0 to Celtic.
That's what I said.
Is it, John? I thought you said 2-0.
That's all right, Sander. You're allowed to say 3-0. Both of us can say 3-0. If you think 3 and I think 3, that's a good sign.
Yeah, that's it, John. And I think Brendan will have had them on the training ground a lot longer than what he normally does, John. So it's Brendan will want to get to the bottom of what happened on Thursday. When he's really upset about that result, John.
Of course, he's a Celtic man. Everybody's upset by it, and most importantly, I hope the players are more upset by it than anybody, and they want to put that right for the Celtic fans. They want to go out there and show them, look, we had a bad day at the office. Let's get back to business. Let's finish this off. Get it over the line. The league, I mean, get it over the line, and then we can think about maybe relaxing, because this league, in my opinion, is far from over. It's 11 points. It's a huge gap. But you seen what happened to Aberdeen, Sander? They're beat again by Ross County at home.
Yeah, we did say that, John, on the last podcast, didn't we? That they've now just fell away. They've lost the plot altogether. But Celtic will never let that happen, John. So I don't think so anyway. But it's one defeat, John. It's one defeat in the whole season, isn't it? We've been doing brilliant. A couple of their wins, John, have just been over the line and no more as well. You've got to remember. So yeah, I think it's the shake that we needed, to be honest with you. I think it's the wake up call that we've needed, John, and I think we're going to get the best out of these Celtic players from now on.
Certainly hope so. And there will be a couple of signings made as well. I think they keep shouting about this Kieran Tierney coming back on these Celtic websites. I don't want him near Celtic. And if any Celtic fans are getting excited by the prospect of him coming back, have a word with yourself. You know what I mean? He's constantly on the treatment table. He'll spend 90% of his time in the stand watching Celtic. Says that before. I do not want him back, and he's strongly linked with Celtic, and that concerns me.
Yeah, I think Celtic have actually started negotiations, John. So yeah, your wish might not come true. So I think Celtic are really keen on signing Kieran Tierney. But you know what it's like, John? Sometimes these things never happen, and the players we get over the line are players that were never linked with the club in the first place.
Aye, this is it. But I just wanted to touch on that Kieran Tierney thing. Celtic fans getting excited by it, and I've seen a lot of Celtic fans. He's coming back. He's coming home. What Kieran Tierney have you been keeping your eye on over the years? Do you know what I mean? He's going to spend all his time on the treatment table. Then he's going to sit in the stand, watching his favourite team playing, and collecting 25, 30 grand a week for the pleasure. Don't want it.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see, John. If we get a Kieran Tierney that's fully fit, I would gladly accept that. But if it's going to be, as you say, injury prone, no, we shouldn't be going anywhere near it.
Look, if Kieran Tierney's fit, I would welcome it. Of course I would. But he's been the same way for years. Like I say, he kicked the grass at Hampden and went off, and he was out for 2 months after it.
Yeah. Fleetwood was the boy St Mirren signed that player for, John.
All right.
I like to get these things right.
That's like one of the Billy Connolly things, isn't it? He's talking about something, then goes away talking about something else for half an hour, and then gets back to
it. All right, John, let's get this. What I'm going to do, if you don't mind, John, we're going to do the predictor. We're one each for the season. We're going to add every game, and not just the Celtic game. So if you get one right, it gets added to your score. Are you okay with that?
If you want, aye. I mean, I think I got maybe one or two right on Thursday. I think I predicted a couple of them right. I don't know if I get the right scores right enough.
But it starts the day.
Is that no counting?
No, John, two's got a couple right, but no score predictions right. So we'll start it for the day, right, John? Starting from today, the first game up is Hibs against Rangers, Easter Road.
2-0 Rangers.
2-0 says John, and I'll say 2-1 Rangers. Motherwell, Aberdeen.
It's got to be a Motherwell win, isn't it? Aberdeen are absolutely rank rotten. Beat by Ross County as well on Thursday.
Yeah, they were.
At Pittodrie, you know. I'm going to say 3-1 Motherwell.
Yeah, the Dons are gone, aren't they? 2-0 Motherwell. Dundee United and Hearts, another team that's on their knees, Hearts.
Dundee United now third in the league. Is it a Tannadice?
Yeah, Tannadice, John.
It's got to be a United win. I'm going to say 2-1 United.
2-1. I want to say they'll 2-2 there, John. A wee draw for me. And lastly, Kilmarnock against Ross County. No, it's no last. There's another game after that. Sorry, but Kilmarnock against Ross County.
1-0 Kilmarnock.
And County just off a win against Aberdeen. 2-1 Ross County.
That's no great shakes though, is it?
No, it's no. All right, lastly, St Johnstone against Dundee. I think Dundee lost the Dundee derby, John. Am I right in saying that? I think I predicted 2-0 to Dundee United. I think it was 2-1. I'm not sure. But I know they lost it anyway. So what do you think, John? St Johnstone, Dundee.
I got that one right. The Dundee derby.
Yeah.
St Johnstone against Dundee. Funny team, St Johnstone. Even though they're bottom of the league, they can still turn out a wee draw here and there and take a point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go for 1-1.
Right, 1-1. 2-1 to Dundee for me. 2-1 to the Dark Blues. Okay, John, that's the predictions. That's our predictions for this weekend's fixtures. Every game is played on Sunday this week. So we've got Hibs Rangers at 12 o'clock. They play first. A chance to close the gap to, is it 8 points? Yeah. We're that far ahead. I forget how far ahead we are. Motherwell against Aberdeen is 2:30. Celtic against St Mirren is 3. And the rest of the fixtures are also 3, John. So that's your weekend fixtures. Right, John, that's quite a wee bit we went through that. We'll hit on some comments. And if you don't mind, can you read a couple for the video about the coin incident as well, John? Because there's a lot of angry fans out there. I know most of the comments are on Facebook, but there was a few on Facebook, on YouTube as well, wasn't there? So just your usual comments, John, and 1 or 2 for that wee video, if you don't mind, buddy.
You want to these angry comments from the Celtic fans, but look, the Celtic fans have got every single right to be angry. Nobody the scoreline. Okay, we're not happy with the scoreline, but it's just what happened with young Arnie Engels, young boy. You know what I mean? Done nothing to anybody. Just gone up to take a corner and gets assaulted by animals. You know. But and this is what the Celtic fans are angry with. So let's get started with them. Rosemary was first up. Time after time, I am sick of our fans, players, and staff getting assaulted in that cesspit.
Yeah. Everybody's sick of it, John. That's I count. I mean, from what I can remember, I count about 7 different incidents with Celtic players and staff, and even the supporters as well, John, getting, assaulted and attacked at IBROX, John. It's absolutely pathetic. 2025 we're in, John, and we've still got supporters from a rival club throwing missiles at our players. It's disgusting and it's sickening. Good comment, Rosemary.
Aye, good comment. Aye. And you can imagine most of the comments are like that, Xander. But I agree with everything you say there.
Yeah.
And thanks for your comment, Rosemary.
Thanks, Rosemary.
James Doran says, banned for life for the culprit that done that. And why wasn't the safety nets not implemented?
It's not enough. I'm sorry, John. It's not enough. Banning them for life's not enough. I don't care if they ban one supporter. It's not enough for me. Get the stadium emptied of supporters, John, until they've got nets around that stadium, and every single player can feel safe going to IBROX Stadium, John, to play their football. Not just Celtic, Motherwell, Hibs, Aberdeen, Dundee United. Every player needs to feel safe going to that stadium playing football. So get the nets round it, and until then, get the stadium empty of all supporters.
Aye, exactly. Aye, get it emptied until something's done anyway. But surely the SFA is looking at that. Every time Celtic go there, their staff members, players, fans, whatever, whoever it is getting assaulted in that place. And it doesn't just happen with Celtic, by the way. It happens with other teams with the fans, I mean. But when it comes to Celtic, if there's no fans there, we'll pick on their players. And the SFA is going to look at that and say, it's no safe for Celtic to play there. We need to do something.
Yeah, John. Well, when it happened last season, when this came about again, it comes around, John, nothing gets done. Where is these nets that were supposed to be getting put up? Where are they? The commenter's right. The commenter's bang on with that. Although I disagree about the player getting banned, it's not enough punishment for me.
The supporter getting banned, you mean that's Santarai?
Sorry?
The supporter getting banned, you mean?
Yeah,
Aye?
supporters. Yeah, sorry, John. Yeah, the supporter getting banned. It's not enough for me. Get the club fined for a start. Get them fined, hefty fine, and then get the nets around that, and not just that wee corner where the Celtic fans used to go, John. The full stadium needs covered now. Look at Brendan Rodgers getting attacked at the dugout as well. Mitchell's getting thrown at the staff and Brendan Rodgers as well, John. So the full stadium needs safety nets all the way around it, as far as I'm concerned.
Build a brick wall in it, as far as I'm concerned. Thanks for that, James.
Thanks for the comment, James. Cheers, buddy.
We would never sell a club, says Vile, for doing that, and Engels was lucky he didn't lose an eye, and thankfully there will be no away fans in the next Glasgow Derby at Paradise. Totally agree with that.
But there will be. That's it's been announced that after the IBROX game that the fans will be allowed back in. Is it no? It was only delayed, John, because the IBROX work wasn't completed, if you remember. So Celtic never let them in. Then Rangers never let us in on Thursday, and then it's back to normal on the next Glasgow Derby at Celtic Park, John. So there will be Rangers fans there as it stands just now, anyway.
As it stands right now, possibly, but I did see a bit about Rangers saying they still couldn't guarantee the safety of Celtic fans. No surprise there, they can't guarantee the safety of a stray cat walking on the park at IBROX. Aye, so no, I don't think they'll beat the next derby at Celtic Park. I think Celtic have got to take this into their own hands and say, we don't want you in there.
Yeah.
We just don't want you in there. Something's going to happen one day. There's going to end up a riot between fans because the Celtic fans are not going to stand back and watch that happening, Xander.
Yeah, John, you got to laugh at the whole situation, actually, now that I think back on the whole thing. Rangers stopped the Celtic fans from entering their stadium because of celebrations, because we were celebrating. And now, John, there's no fans in the stadium now, and the Celtic players are now getting attacked. It's absolutely laughable. It started with them banning the fans. Now it should be Celtic banning the fans for safety reasons, no for celebratory reasons, John. Celtic should now ban Rangers fans from Celtic Park for safety reasons.
Aye. Celtic Park's a perfectly safe stadium to let fans into, but it's the fans that you're letting in that aren't safe.
Yeah. And I feel sorry for the Rangers fans that are decent people, like you said a wee while ago, John. They're decent Rangers fans out there. They'll be getting punished as well, John. But you've got to do it this way to punish the thugs, if you like.
Well, I mean, the idiot that threw that coin, he's a total clown, by the way. I bet he's a total coward. And that coward that threw that coin was surrounded by thousands of Rangers fans, and they've seen him doing that, and not one of them will say anything because they love it as well. That's the way I look at that. They're probably all celebrating, high-fiving each other after that. So, anyway, the less says about that clown, the better. Don't want to give him any publicity. I'm sure he's getting patted in the back everywhere he goes right now, Xander.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay, moving on, John.
John McLean says animals. Couldn't agree more with that.
Yeah, that's it. That's how you sum it up. You've got to fence in animals, John, and that's what needs to be done at IBROX, and these nets all the way around it. And I feel bad saying that because there is decent supporters out there, John. There is, but we've got to stop the animals from throwing missiles at Celtic players, John, and any other player that goes to that stadium.
Exactly, aye. And until they find out who the animals are, then keep them away from Celtic Park and get nets around the stadium, because Rangers seem to think it's acceptable as well, because they never do anything about it either. They must think, surely if that was Celtic, they would say, let's get some nets round. Our fans are too badly behaved. We can't have players getting attacked by missiles. If it was Celtic, they would do something about it. But Rangers have been doing it for years and nothing's changed. Make a wee statement. They make a wee statement. Oh, we think that's bad, that happening. Do something about it. Get nets around your stadium.
Yeah. And it's just a few nets, John. It's not as if it's going to break their bank, is it? Make it safe. Make the stadium safe, and everybody will be happy. Can't do anything about the singing, but we can at least make the players and the staff safe. That's number one priority. And Arnie Engels, John, he's lucky. The comment about before was right. Very, very lucky that he didn't lose an eye. If that coin would have landed, because we're going to remember that coin's coming for a distance. It landed in his forehead, right, and he's lucky. But if it had landed in his eye, John, his whole career would have been over.
Aye, half an inch lower under his eye was it. Simple as that. But anyway,
doesn't bear thinking about, does it? Doesn't bear thinking about, John.
It does not bear thinking about. You seen the big red mark just above his eyebrow? Honestly, an inch lower, 3/4 of an inch lower. The boy's lost an eye. That's his career over. That's that totally ruin a player. That's under, but it's Rangers, so we'll say nothing about it. That's the Rangers way. Anyway, thanks for that, John.
Yeah, thanks, John. And another thing, John, the Facebook video that I put on with 280,000 views, the Celtic fans were so angry. The words they were using in their comments had to be blocked, because I've got a blocker in my comments, and obviously certain words get blocked. And the Celtic fans are absolutely raging, John. They're raging. Aye,
but I've seen a couple of their fans in there with disgusting comments as well, so you need to get in and get that dealt with, delete that,
I can't go into every comment, John, on a 280,000 view video, John. I just can't do it. It's just got to let it run, I'm afraid. There's one or two I can try and answer to, but just the ones that pop up on my page is the only ones I can answer.
The fans are vile, by the way. After winning 3-0, they want to shout their usual chants and comments and all that stuff, and no mention of they're disgusted by their fans' actions. They're just defending it, But anyway.
Yeah, that's it, John. If anybody defends that, any human being defends that, they're not even worth talking about, John, to be honest with you.
No. Anyway, let's move on, Xander, because it's getting late in this podcast and I've got a few comments to get on me here.
Yeah.
Paul McEwen, hail, hail. Celtic and the Celtic women are well, hail, hail. The Celtic won the well on Thursday, Paul.
They certainly won the well, Paul, but they'll be well again on Sunday. Don't worry about that. The players are going to be choking to get back out in that football park. And it's a good thing, John, that we've got a game so quickly after Thursday, isn't it?
Aye, well, this is it, isn't it? It's a chance to bounce back, Sander. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Paddy G says, this only gives good Rangers fans a bad name. What good Rangers fans?
Well, John, I did say that. There is good Rangers fans. I know what you're saying. We're all angry just now, right? We're all angry. No more than you and I, John, just now. That's why we're going to do polls and get them sent to Celtic, etc., John. But there is decent Rangers fans out there. The guy's right with his comment. We're not tarring every Rangers fan with the same brush as regards to the missile throwing. But, John, there is a vast amount of Rangers supporters singing the Bile songs. So, what happened to the SFA? There was a wee season where it stopped, if you remember, John. You remember that? They stopped singing the Billy Boys. They stopped singing various other songs. Everything is just returned without punishment, John. Every single song is now returned on full voice, John, without punishment. The SFA are doing absolutely nothing about it.
They've never done anything about it. It's always happened when it got to that line in that song, they would go quiet and then bring the volume back up again. But now they're no caring. They're saying nothing's getting done about this. We might as well keep doing it. Why don't the SFA say every time you sing that sectarian song, your team's getting fined £500,000?
Yeah, it's got to be cut out, John. But it looks as though it's never going to be. So there's nothing we can do about that, I suppose.
Aye. Anyway, moving swiftly on.
Yeah.
Where are we? Michael Hickland, that's right.
Yeah.
The linesman saw nothing as per usual. Well, I'm glad the linesman never saw it, because that would mean he's been looking at the fans instead of the pitch.
Yeah, that's it. Should the Celtic players have walked off the park, John?
Aye, absolutely. Aye, I totally agree with that. I think the Celtic players should have walked off. Doesn't matter. The game was over anyway, 3-0. But And Michael thinks the linesman saw nothing as usual. I don't know if he's talking about the coin throwing incident or the, Nicholas Kuhn getting his nose broke or whatever.
Yeah, with the Kuhn one, John, that was a ridiculous challenge. That was a red card all day long for me, that. I mean, it was the other one, John. I think it was Hadji, who throws his head back trying to catch McGregor. Was it McGregor? I can't remember who the player was. Was it Carter Vickers possibly? I can't remember. He throws his head back and leans with his elbow. and the Celtic player gets booked.
I don't remember half of the incidents. I was too busy being shocked at how bad Celtic were.
Unbelievable. The ref was so bad, and the commenter's right, the linesman was terrible as well, John. But I think the Celtic players should have walked off the park at 3-0. Give them the win, give them the 3 points. Nobody's taking that away for you, Rangers. Nobody whatsoever's taking that away for you. But what a statement that would have been, John, if we would have walked off the park.
I think they should. I think they should walk off the park when something like that happens, because look, the game, they've already lost the game anyway. I wouldn't want to risk myself getting hit by missiles from the crowd. So I agree with you, walk off the park. But the Nicholas Kuhn one, that player that elbowed Nicholas Kuhn in the face, he actually booted him, tried to boot him up in the air just before it, when he's trying to chase him down. He has a boot at him. Nicholas manages to stay on his feet, and that's not enough for the player, so he elbows him right across the face and breaks his nose. I don't know if his nose is broke, but it was all burst open.
Dreadful. It was a dreadful elbow, John. Dreadful. Pathetic.
It's a red card, Sander. If you don't want to make him mince my word, that was a straight red card.
Yeah, of course it was, John. And the other one I was talking about earlier was, it wasn't McGregor, it was Alistair Johnston. You know, Hadji throws his head back to try and burst Johnston's nose, but Johnston puts his arm up to protect himself, and Johnston gets booked for it, John. It was absolutely pathetic. Anyway, John, moving on.
The ref was a Purian anyway. Moving on, like you says, that referee was pathetic. Liz McHutchison says we should refuse to play IBROX and keep them out of Parkhead. What do you think of that, Xander? Celtic just refusing to go to IBROX altogether? They'd probably get fined for that. Yeah,
it'd be a big fine and points deduction, all that kind of nonsense. So that's a no-go. But, you know, to walk off the park after your players have been assaulted like that, that's allowed. Yeah, the players need protection. But as regards to no showing up at IBROX, we need to play the fixture, John. Unfortunately, we need to play it. No matter what the circumstance, but I think that we need to really seriously push for getting nets around that stadium. So Liz, no, that's a no-go, pal, I'm afraid. But yeah, keep them out of Celtic Park. I agree with that, pal.
I definitely keep them out of Celtic Park. I don't know what the answer is when it comes to IBROX. Celtic refusing to play at IBROX, just don't go there, risk a fine. But what's going to be done to guarantee the Celtic players and staff safety? Absolutely nothing will be done. So the same thing's going to happen for years to come, Xander.
Yeah, the only thing we can do, John, is if it does happen, another player gets struck, another member of the management or the staff gets struck, he takes the players off the park. Because you've got a reason for walking off the park then, John. Even if you're winning the game, walk off the park.
Aye, just walk off. That's it. No player should have to put up with that. I mean, these are just boys. The boys are just earning a living, Xander. They're just boys that play football. They're not there to antagonise fans. I even seen somebody talking about Celtic fans antagonised, the Celtic players antagonised the Rangers fans today. Where'd that come from?
Well, who knows, John? But you imagine going to your work and somebody smacks you in the face at your work. You know, that's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing, John. The guy that done it in the last 2 seconds, you'd get protected. Let's put it that way. You'd get protected, but the Celtic players and staff are not getting any protection, are they?
No, the guy done is just a coward. He wouldn't do that to you in the street. Trust me, Xander.
Yeah, that's it.
He wouldn't do that to anybody in the street, that clown.
Yeah, that's it.
I hope you're listening, you total clown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Total clown, man. Anyway, next up. Thanks for your comment, by the way, Liz. Good to see you here. Not seen you here before.
Yeah, thanks for the comment, Liz. Keep the comments coming in, pal.
I agree with you, by the way, Liz. I think Celtic should refuse to play IBROX until they've done something, fixed their stadium so that coins can reach players.
Yeah, that's got to be down to the SFA, that, John, isn't it? That's got to be a directive for the SFA, which isn't going to happen, let's be honest.
No, it's definitely not going to happen. Anyway, moving on. Thanks, Liz.
Thanks, Liz.
Another new comment on guitarist.
All right.
A fellow guitarist, Xander.
Yeah. One of your pals, John.
Aye. Anyway, guitarist guitarist was saying both captains need to get together and take the players off the park. As with sectarian and racist abuse, no other profession would tolerate it.
That's a brilliant point, isn't it, John? And we've already spoken about it, to be fair to us. We've spoken about it there, but it's good to see it in the comments, John. People are thinking the same as the way we're thinking. Yeah, nobody else wouldn't be tolerated anywhere in society, John. Anywhere up and down the country, you know, in the world, to be honest with you. But it gets tolerated here. It's allowed here. It gets encouraged here, John. The vile songs get encouraged. You know, your all these songs that were sung at IBROX, Ali McCoy, Nicole commentary. What an atmosphere. Loves it. He absolutely loves it. You know, John, that gets encouraged here, John. So, yeah, maybe both captains should have got together, taken the players off the park. But, you know, why would the Rangers do that when they're winning 3-0? So it'd have to be down to Callum to take the players off the park. But I think that was a chance missed, to be perfectly honest with you.
Aye, but 3 minutes to go as well, you know, the game is over. So, like you said earlier, the Celtic could have made a statement by doing that, you know, taking the players off the park. But they missed a chance there, and that's it. They missed a chance.
Yeah.
But maybe lesson learned, Xander. Lesson learned. Maybe should take that on board. And like the guitarist says there, Xander, sectarian and racist abuse, no other profession would tolerate it. Well, exactly. If you went at your work singing sectarian songs or anything like that, you wouldn't last 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's difficult, isn't it, John? It's what can you say that's not already been said on this podcast, John? It's we've gave what we think should be done, you know. But that's just our opinion, John. Nothing. Unless there's no anyway that nothing's going to get done. But you never know. Come Monday morning, John, there might be a couple of statements from the SFA. You never know.
Well, I doubt that very much, Sander. They've never done anything in the past. I wouldn't hold my breath with that one.
Yeah, never that, to be honest with you. All right, John.
UD says, dirty scumbag must have got a double gyro. Throwing pound coins away. He'll be looking for that for his smack later.
Oh dear. Yeah. That's so bad, isn't it? It's so bad we're not actually laughing at the whole situation, John. It's I suppose you've got to laugh, you know. And the thing is, you got to look at the whole overall thing, right, John? These coins getting thrown when they're winning 3-0. Then there's the fireworks, John, as well, that went off to 11:30 on Thursday night as well. You know, not one firework went off when we won the League Cup. Not one firework went off when we went 14 points clear. Not one firework went off when we beat Rangers at Celtic Park. But they celebrate being 11 points behind Celtic, John. That's a reason for them to celebrate.
Their celebrations include sectarian behaviour and throwing missiles at Celtic players. That's their celebration. I mean, if that was Celtic, I'd just be happy that they actually just won the game. You'd be delighted. The last thing I'd be interested in would be the Rangers players, and certainly throwing stuff at them. I would never do that in my life, throw something at a football player. But that's the point in that. Why do you go to these games to throw missiles at players, knowing that you're going to be basically talked about on social media by every fan in the country?
That's probably why they do it, John, isn't it? You know, that's probably why they do it, because they're getting headlines and they're getting talked about. But you got to look at it as well, John. Look at Neil Lennon getting attacked by the Hearts fan at Tynecastle. If he's going to go to court and get away with that, John, if he's going to go to court and actually been given as no evidence when it's caught on camera and millions have saw it, then they can do what they want. They're going to get away with it. Let's be honest.
Aye. I've been getting away with it since before I was born. Paul McEwen says he put a load of pound signs in, and then he says the Celtic. I don't know what that means. Maybe he's talking about spend money Celtic.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's maybe what the Celtic fans are looking for now, John. Strengthen the team, because let's look at the football side of it for a wee minute, John, because it was beyond no turning up. It was worse than no turning up, because when players don't turn up, it's normally just one or two, but that was more or less the full team, John, and the substitutes. So I think we need a wee refresh there, John. Maybe 2 or 3 fresh players, John. 2 or 3 new players into the club, make players fight for their place a wee bit more as well, John. Yeah, maybe just a wee freshen up with a few new bodies in the door, John.
A few signings never hurts, does it? No. I think if the referee would have done his job early on and sent Jeff to you, it'd have been a different story, right enough, because any official that deems that just a yellow card, he's had a boot out at Kuhn, and that wasn't enough. He didn't get him by that. He took his legs away, but Kuhn stayed on his feet. That wasn't enough. I'll just smash him right across the face with my elbow. The referee does his job there. I'm not saying it was going to be a different scoreline. Celtic were that poor, but and also he booked McGregor for nothing. So you're taking all that into account as well from that game. I'm going in a kind of long circle here, but the Celtic really need to sign players when officials turn up and do that, Xander?
Yeah, that's right, John. That's right. The officials, I mean, is there any point in going on about the officials? We know how bad they were. It's always the same. In fact, but that was really bad. The diving, I mentioned that at the very start, John, from Hadji, is it? The guy that scored the first goal. The diving was unbelievable. Just throwing himself to the floor, and he gets away with it every single time. So, John, as you say, the referee does his job. Maybe things would have improved slightly, but as you say, I don't think it would have affected the result. I think the Rangers would have won the game anyway.
Definitely. I think the Celtic just never showed up. It's as simple as that. Rangers were the better team on the day. I'm kind of argue with that.
Yeah.
But I think Schmeichel could have done better with that first goal, Xander. That daisy cutter at 2 miles an hour. I mean, I'd have got that,
Yeah, I think it maybe could have got down a wee bit quicker. Maybe he was blocked or something. I don't know, John, but it doesn't matter, does it? It's all if buts and maybes. It's in the net, isn't it? I suppose game's over.
Casper's world class, Xander. Every player played bad on the day. Simple as that. Moving on, Magic Blaze. Never seen you here either before, Magic Blaze. Magic Blaze says it's because they're so jealous. Some Rangers fans are going to get seriously hurt. Wink, wink.
They're quite jealous, John. I mean, the fireworks going off to 11:30 at night, Thursday night, when you're still 11 points behind. Does that make sense to you, John? Does that make sense, setting off fireworks, annoying people's dogs and whatever else they've got in their house, to 11:30 at night because they beat Celtic in a dead rubber? Does that make sense to you?
It doesn't make sense to me letting off fireworks to that time of night, but you've got to remember, take something into account. The reason why they were doing it is because years and years of hurt at the hands of Celtic, smashed them in cup finals, winning leagues, winning Scottish Cups, winning League Cups, hammering them, beating them left, right and centre. So it's all mounted up to this one big boiling pot where they throw missiles. They're so happy they're launching missiles at Celtic players. They're so happy they're out annoying everybody at 11 o'clock at night. I think it's just... is it jealousy? They're definitely jealous of Celtic's success. Make no mistake about that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something else as well before we go, John. Revenge will be sweet come May.
Aye, but this is when you do your fireworks and you're celebrating. Well, this is it. When the trophies are handed out, that's the time you celebrate. Not when you've won a game that's pretty much meaningless. Wouldn't say it was a dead rubber, right enough, but pretty much meaningless in the grand scale of things. They're still miles off of Celtic. They're lucky they got Celtic when they were, I don't know, maybe celebrating in the IBROX changing room with a bottle of whiskey each or something, because that's what it looked like. Yeah,
but what we don't want to do is give them false hope, John, by maybe drawing against St Mirren or drawing against whoever it is we're playing the next game at Celtic Park after that. We don't want to be giving them false hope. We drop many stupid points. We just need to motor on from here on in.
Well, this is it, isn't it? We'll find out tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock. See what happens. See what Celtic show up on the day. Very tough game, though, Xander, against St Mirren. So it's not an easy game to come back to.
Yeah, that's it, John. Okay. All right, John, by the way, our next home game is on Wednesday against Dundee United, by the way, at Celtic Park, midweek game. So it's Dundee United, then we're away to Ross County in next weekend, but that's looking way ahead. Right, John, any more comments? You want to call it a day there?
What a day there, Xander. That's basically it for the... Unless you want me to go on Facebook and read every comment.
No. I mean, there must be at least 100,000 comments, John. All right, John. No, we'll leave it there. That's plenty for the day. We've said our piece. We've said what we came to say, John. Celtic play on Wednesday, by the way, against Dundee United at home, and on the Thursday, Rangers are away. Why Thursday, I don't know, but Rangers are away to Dundee. So that's your fixtures coming up, folks. All right, John, that's it. We'll leave it there. Thanks for coming on. We've got a lot off our chest there, but there was a lot to get through, wasn't there, as well? So I'm glad we've done it. Good luck to Celtic on Sunday. 3 o'clock kick-off, get the 3 points in the bag. But at that point, it should be down to 8 points because we think Rangers will be Hibs. So it's a must-win, obviously. So good luck to the boys. Better performance, should be okay. John, we'll catch you on the post-match.
I'll see you soon, Xander. Hail, mate.
Hail, John. Catch you later, buddy.